Let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View, and I'm going to title this video Spiritual Town Hall Meeting. Spiritual Town Hall Meeting. We need to have a powwow. We need to have a spiritual town hall meeting about the consciousness of people in general. And what inspired me to make this video? Number one, let me say this off the bat, up front. P. Diddy will not face charges for the attack, that vicious attack that we saw on footage, in that footage, that he perpetrated against Cassie Ventura, however you say her name, in 2016 at that hotel. According to the LA District Attorney, there will be no charges filed because they said that the statute of limitation is up. That's number one. So no charges thus far will be filed against him. And I'm going to tell you all something. Orlando Brown said it. I believe Jaguar Wright might have said it, but I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I believe she might have said it. But then again, maybe she did not say it. But I do know for certain that Orlando Brown said it, and I'm going to say it too. This is a precursor for them trying to get him exonerated from all of the charges that are pending currently against him. This is just a precursor. They are trying to get him totally exonerated. And I saw one commenter say in one of the videos about this situation that if he did that to her in a public hallway, imagine what he has been doing behind closed doors. Just food for thought. I had a conversation with a family friend. I admire this woman. Her son and I were best friends. She and I are like family. But I really have to question her consciousness. We were having a conversation about P. Diddy and the footage of him brutalizing Cassie Ventura. And she says to me, Seer, she says, why did they wait so long to put the footage out, number one? Then number two, she says to me, her stupid ass probably kept going back to him. So I said to her, I said, well, we're going to call her Lynetta. I said, Lynetta, I said, okay, that's your perspective. I said, but however, do you see how he dragged her and attacked her in that hotel hallway? And she didn't say anything. She was more focused on this phantom idea that Cassie kept going back to him. And maybe that's true. Maybe that is true. Do you know how many abuse victims go back to their abuser? But does that mean that they deserve to be abused that way? See, that's the fine line that I'm trying to understand. When I hear, especially when I hear another woman say this about another woman. Number one, she called her stupid. And I don't know Cassie Ventura. This is more so about standing up for justice because what's really being attacked is the spirit of justice. And that is what I'm standing up for. The law no longer embodies, or if it ever embodied, the spirit of justice. And that is what I'm standing up for. So when I heard this family friend, when we were talking on the phone about this case, when I heard her say nothing else mattered that she said, because I was focused on those particular comments, because those are some powerful statements and it gives me an insight into her subconscious mind. So you're saying that a woman deserves to be beaten and treated like an animal because she might have went back to the abuser. Has anyone ever thought, has anyone ever, I mean, not anyone, but I wondered, has she ever thought that maybe Cassie was scared for her life? Maybe she had no choice but to go back to him if that was even the case. And again, this is not about Cassie per se. This is about justice. This is about all of the women that have had to go through this. And then hearing people say, well, why didn't you leave sooner? Why did you stay? Why did you go back? Well, if you went back, you deserved to be treated like that. Are you kidding me? This is the state of spiritual consciousness of some of the people that are on this planet now. They are so desensitized and possessed by their own personal demons that they would make a comment like that even after seeing how he attacked her in that hallway. You would have thought that that would have made, I mean, I would have thought that, especially another woman who has been through domestic violence, because this woman that I'm referring to, the family friend, she has been through domestic violence. She's been through domestic violence. Sometimes the women go back because those men be threatening their lives. They threaten their children's lives. Have you all forgotten? And when I say you all, I'm not talking about the people that watch me. I'm saying that in general. Have you all forgotten the type of monster that this man has been described as, that we know as Puff Daddy? This is the same man that said he's love and light, that he's brother love. Please make it make sense. Now, I understand people have their own ideologies, people have their own opinions. I get that. But if you looked at that footage and you did not see anything wrong with that, and the only thing that can come out of your mouth is that she's stupid and she probably went back to him because he was probably giving her a bunch of money, and the only reason she sued him was because he cut off the money, and that's why she sued him. That's what somebody else said, but that wasn't a woman that said that. I mean, these are the things that people are saying. But nobody is looking at that footage. They're not looking at that footage and saying, wait a minute. People are trying to find back doors to defend this predator that we know as P. Diddy. And then she said in the conversation, well, I guess she tried to smooth things over because she realized that I wasn't going where she was trying to lead me, which is to agree with that bullshit that she was saying about Cassie Ventura. You feel what I'm saying? So then she said, well, if they locked up R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and all of these other men, they need to lock Puff Daddy up too. Well, how can you say that they need to lock Puff Daddy up too when you just finished saying that basically that Cassie got what she deserved? That was the tonation or the tone or the undertone of that message of your in your subconscious. You said that she was stupid and probably kept going back to him. Let's say she was stupid and kept going back to him. She still didn't deserve that. No woman deserves that. She still didn't deserve that. I got an appointment in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to make this quick. She did not deserve that. And it really goes to show you that, we cannot depend on the government or the law to protect us. This is why this is called a spiritual town hall meeting, because we cannot depend on the people that are supposed to be in place to protect people. They're not doing that. The district, they find loopholes in the law for everything else, right? They find loopholes for everything else. They found them with R. Kelly. They found them with Bill Cosby. Now, the family friend that I was talking to, she said that she probably kept going back to Puff Daddy. But in that video, she was trying to get away from him. I don't care if she was even stealing something from him. I don't care. Let me just say that I don't give a fuck. She was trying to get away from him. Because some people were saying she was trying to steal. It was something in that bag, I guess, that she was trying to steal. But you know what I think is what they're really trying to gear up to do? They're trying to make Puff Daddy another Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski was caught doing inappropriate things with underage girls or a underage girl, and he moved out of the United States to evade charges. Okay? And also, Roman Polanski was connected to the Charles Manson murders as well. He was connected to all of that energy as well. And I truly believe there's more to that story as to why Roman Polanski moved over to Europe to evade charges from the United States. That's what Puff Daddy's going to do. They don't want to charge him. They don't want to charge him. They're going to let him keep his money, and they're going to just run him out of the United States, which to me is too good, because he can go over to Europe and live the exact same lifestyle that he lived here. So when people say she kept going back, do you know how many women go back because these men threaten their lives? That's the only thing I'm talking about is justice, and how justice, the spirit of justice, is being attacked. Just like Jim Jones, the cult leader, not the rapper or singer. Jim Jones, the cult leader. People wondered why Marceline, his wife, did not leave him with all of the atrocities that he was committing when he was alive, all of the affairs he was having with the men and the women within the People's Temple Church. People wonder why Marceline did not leave him. You know why she didn't leave him? Because he told her, if you divorce me, because she went to him. Marceline Jones went to Jim Jones. And Puff Daddy reminds me of a Jim Jones energy. Look at the energies. The energies are the same. See, I can read the spirit. The energies are the same. Jim Jones told his wife, when she confronted him about having all of the affairs with the women in the People's Temple Church, she told him, I'm divorcing you. You know what he told her? If you divorce me, neither one of us will live to see it. That's exactly what he told her. And what was she going to do? Go to the police? What the fuck they gonna do? Half of them, the men, half of them are beating their wives and threatening their wives. Yeah, real talk. So what? So what? I don't understand. I'm confused. Same thing with my grandmother. My step grandfather, he beat her into an early grave. And my family may not want to acknowledge and accept that, but it's the truth. He beat my grandmother into an early grave. You know why my grandmother didn't leave him? Because number one, my grandmother felt like, she felt like she was outnumbered. She had nowhere to really go. And he probably threatened her. How do we know? He probably attacked her self esteem and told her, nobody will ever love you. You ain't going to be able to find nobody else. You know, and if somebody did a video about this earlier. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and psychological abuse it's a very powerful tool that abusers use in general. It doesn't matter, and it's kind of like spell work. It is spell work. They use this negative spell work to entrap you in their reality so you won't be able to create your own out of it. You feel what I'm saying? My grandmother went through the exact same thing, and it sent her to an early grave. And when I watched that footage, I said to myself, is this what my grandmother had to go through? Because my step grandfather, he beat my grandmother so badly that she lost, like Halle Berry, she lost hearing, partial hearing in one of her ears. He beat my step grandfather. He beat her so badly one time. She had rollers in her hair, and he hit her in the head, and the rollers cut her head from the impact of his fist. And you're telling me, and people want people to believe, and they ask questions, well, why did they go back? Did you just hear what I said? Did you just hear what I said? Abusers are very, very manipulative. They're very manipulative people. And they will use any tactics at their disposal to entrap their victim and to keep their victim under their quantum control. Abusers are almost like cult leaders. That is why I said P. Diddy reminds me of Jim Jones. My step grandfather reminded me of the Jim Jones effect as well. It's the same spirit, controlling your victim, stalking your victim. Right before my grandmother died, maybe a couple of weeks before she died in 1987, my step grandfather had beat her black and blue. And she had that massive heart attack maybe a couple of weeks later. And my grandmother was a Virgo as well, just like Cassie Ventura. So planetary alignments and the planets, all of that plays a part in all of this too. My step grandfather was a Gemini. He was a Gemini. And remember, I said earlier, my uncle who beat up my aunt, that was my step grandfather, that was his son. That was his son. We can't depend on, and this is not just for black people, this is for white people, white women, any woman, because white women get beat up too. Spanish women get beat up too. Arab women get beat up too. We all know how Arab women are always abused and getting beat up and abused and misused. African women, it's across the board. But we have really come to a time where people can look at that type of footage and make those type of statements. And again, it's not just about Cassie, it's about everything in totality. It's about abuse in totality and the attack on justice. See, my grandmother didn't get her justice. Maybe you can say she got it when my step grandfather died many years later, alone and of a massive heart attack himself, because he didn't take care of himself. He was supposed to have heart surgery and he refused to let them do it. He died the next year. He died the next year. He was an awful, miserable man. And he reminded me of P. Diddy. So, this spirit of P. Diddy, the spirit of Jim Jones, all of those energies, those familiar spirits, they are not new. This energy is not new. The family friend that I was talking to today, she reminds me of Celie in The Color Purple when Harpo was complaining that he could not control Sophia. He could not control Sophia because Sophia was the real god of the movie, not Oprah, but the energy of Sophia, because the great mother Sophia is the real god of the universe. Because remember, the great mother Sophia is the one that accidentally gave birth to the evil God of the Bible, but that was by mistake. Okay? That was by mistake. And when she realized what she had done, this is just the mythology. When she realized what she had done. So Yahweh and Jehovah and the God of the Bible that you niggas like, yeah, that God was given birth. I'm sorry, that God was birthed by the real God, the great mother Sophia. And when she realized that she had given birth to this evil deity or this evil offspring, she tried to correct it by giving mankind the spark of life. Puff Daddy is not a descendant, but he is aligned with that energy of that evil deity. My step grandfather was aligned with that energy of that evil deity. Jim Jones and so many more are aligned with that evil deity. Sophia, Sophia was powerful. See, Sophia was powerful in the movie The Color Purple. Sophia was really, truthfully, if you ask me, Sophia was the real power. Celie told Harpo to beat Sophia to try to destroy her spirit. And the lady that I was talking to on the phone, the family friend, she reminds me of Sophia because the undertone of her message was you got to beat these women to keep them in line. You got to beat these women to keep them in line. We saw the same thing happen with, what's her name, Saweetie and Quavo. And we've gotten comfortable with looking at this type of stuff. We've gotten comfortable with it. Oh, just, some celebrities beating each other up. It doesn't matter. It's okay. But the problem with that is that that trickles down into our average world, which we're in the real world. That world that they're in is fake. That's why it's falling apart. That's the world of illusions. See, people need to understand something about Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy is not a warlock. He is not a wizard. Puff Daddy is an illusionist. That's a totally different thing. He's more like a magician and an illusionist. That is what he is. He's not a warlock. He has no innate spiritual gifts. He's an illusionist and a magician. Most abusers, most men that are abusers are illusionists and they're like magicians. They're not warlocks because they don't have any wisdom. And they're not wizards because they don't have any real power. Their power is the power of illusion. They will give you the illusion that nobody else will love you. They will give you the illusion that you're not valued. They will give you the illusion that you are trapped. Their quantum reality is not real. It's based on an illusion. And it's all about outthinking them. That's what it's all about, outthinking them and outdoing them in spell work. Now, see, Puff Daddy ain't ran across the right witch. He ain't ran across the right witch because listen, he ain't ran across the right witch. He didn't. Now, I'm not promoting any violence when I say this, but let's be honest. Let's go back to that movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Martin Lawrence, everybody wanted to vilify the character of Brandy, played by Lynn Whitfield, right? And again, I am not advocating for anybody to do this. I'm making a point. If we look at it with a clear conscience, the real villain of that movie was Martin Lawrence's character, Darnell. He pursued Lynn Whitfield. He pursued her. He told her he wanted to be with her. And then he flipped on her and went back to his old girlfriend, Mia. And then in the process, almost got Mia killed fucking around with him. It wasn't Lynn Whitfield's fault. But he put his hands on her. She was in his house. She was in his house. She was in his house. And he told her to get out. And he pushed her up against the wall. Now, I know anybody in your house, you're going to do what you do. Whatever. And this was just a movie. But she told him, "You put your hands on the wrong woman." I said, "Now that's a," I said, "He now that's what I'm talking about." Puff Daddy ain't ran across the right witch. He didn't run across the right witch. He did not, and he has not. He's an illusionist. He's not a wizard. He's not a warlock. Just because you can create music or whatever does not make you a warlock. Stop playing. It doesn't make you a warlock. It doesn't make you a wizard. Everything does not equal, you know, that. He only can manipulate the realities of people who allow him to do that. And that is why I say he is an illusionist. And he's created this illusion. He has created this illusion that he is so great. I've always been able to see past the illusion. And so have others. I always knew he wasn't so great. I've always known that. That is why I said we need to have a spiritual town hall meeting because justice is being attacked by this illusion. Real justice is being attacked. They find loopholes in everything that they want to find loopholes in. But you mean to tell me you can't find a loophole to put him in jail for what he did to that woman in that footage? And then on top of that, did I mention this earlier? I might have. I forgot if I did because I'm talking about so much. He paid the hotel $50,000 to not show that footage or to obtain that footage. He paid the hotel that allegedly because he's an illusionist and he wants people to look at him a certain way. Just like when he was running around Los Angeles last year, a year before, dressed up as the Joker, harassing people in the street. This is what illusionists and abusers do when they don't get the attention that they want. Illusionists and abusers, they want people to pay attention to them. They don't care if they get attention from men. They don't care if they get attention from women. They want you to pay attention to them. That is what they want you to do all the time. And he got mad that that guy wasn't paying him the attention that he wanted. And everything he kept saying is, "I'm love. I'm love." Was that love that you were showing in that 2016 footage? Is that the love that you show people? We have a right to talk about these things at face value because ultimately the illusion, unfortunately, influences other men. Because so many men want to be like people like Puff Daddy. So many men want to be people like a Bill Cosby. They idolize these men. They idolize them. And even when all of that stuff was going on with Bill Cosby, I get what people are saying. Why did the women wait so long to say anything? I don't know. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the crimes that they committed, they did happen. They happened. There are men that want to be like Harvey Weinstein. They follow this blueprint and they attack the spirit of justice. That's why a lot of times justice does not prevail because they suppress and they attack the spirit of justice. And that's what I'm really talking about. Justice across the board. Just like I was reading a story about how this man that they let out of prison, a convicted rapist, sex offender, they put him on parole 2 seconds later, he goes and essays a woman. Because the spirit of justice is under attack. You don't even have attorneys anymore that are filled with the spirit of integrity. A lot of these attorneys don't have integrity anymore because they defend anyone. And they're not about standing up for what's right. They fall for anything. But they want us to accept responsibility for everything. The public. That is why I say I don't depend on the justice system to get justice for me. I don't depend on the justice. I have to get justice for myself. We all have to get justice for ourselves. How can we sit up and complain as black people? And I'm going to make this about black people for this one moment. How can we sit up and complain about Marjorie Taylor Greene and what she said to Jasmine Crockett, but I have a family friend on the phone basically condoning what P. Diddy did to Cassie Ventura in that video. But we're sitting up complaining about Marjorie Taylor Greene. But we want to give backdoor, or we want to grant backdoor, what do they call it? Exonerations to people like P. Diddy and other, black men or black people who happen to be predators. We want to give them backdoor exonerations or exonerate them through the back door because they're black. We were so outraged about Marjorie Taylor Greene and what she said. Give me a second. We were so outraged about what Marjorie Taylor Greene said to Jasmine Crockett. We got caught up in all of that. We were so outraged about that. But then we turn around and look at Cassie Ventura and say, well, she's stupid. She probably kept going back to him. Make that make sense. And then we wonder why people don't take us seriously. And for this person that I was talking to, for her to be a woman, saying this, it just, it's crazy. But what's even more crazier is that P. Diddy will not be facing charges for that footage that we saw. He will not be facing charges for that. And you know what? Again, this is a precursor that they are going to try to exonerate him. They're already letting us know he's not going to jail. Even Orlando Brown said it. He's not going to jail. He's going to get away with this, at least as it pertains to our justice system, because the spirit of justice is being attacked. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest, y'all. I just had to talk about that. No shade, no read to the family friend that I was talking to. It is what it is. But I staunchly disagree with her assertion. Because we all know that women that oftentimes do go back, it's under duress. And the fact that that man is threatening them. Let me tell you this. I had one guy come over my house one time and got real nasty with me years ago. He tried to kick my door in. But I tell you one motherfucking thing, he never came back again. He never came back again. He never came back again. You know why he didn't come back again? Because as he was leaving out my door, before he tried to kick it in, as he was leaving out my door, I hit him in the back with my door as hard as I could. And see, that let him know subconsciously that I would fight back. And if he would have came back, he wouldn't have left. You get my drift? And that's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say. Anyway, this is the occult view. Um, that's all I really had to say on that. Thank you.